All right, we're working. I have a new webcam. It's a Hollyland webcam. Uh, I feel like the quality's great, isn't it? Except I kind of look like I'm more tan than I should be. I assume that it has some sort of like facial flattening wrinkle reduction filter. It's but the camera itself is like a enormous pain in the butt. If you like want to edit a setting, it full screens, and yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, never mind this. I also have a broken toe that happened a few hours ago. I would put it on camera, but it's actually quite grotesque. Open broken toes are sometimes bloody, but I'll be okay. Um, I've probably maybe my toes are more easily broken than usual. Like usually, if I jam a toe, it's actually a broken one, and I think that may have to do with that may go back to jujitsu times, just because in jujitsu and MMA and stuff like that, I had broken my toe many, 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 many times, and usually you would just like tape it to the other toe and keep going, but sometimes it's a little worse than others. Anyway, I'll be fine. But if I stop the stream or pause the stream to put a new bandage on it, then that might happen. What else? Crazy week, crazy week with flock safety and that video. That yeah, it was weird. I feel like that video's been kind of I mean, I don't want to get conspiratorial. That video has the highest like to dislike ratio ever in the history of my channel. It's like at least last time I checked, like 2 days ago, it was like 99.5% like ratio. The longest retention out of like any video I've released in the past couple of years, like meaning that like people are choosing to watch it the longest. Click through rate's fine, this and that, but it's like performing as the fourth or fifth out of the last 10, which is and so this led to me being like, all right, what's going on? And searching it, seeing like, what's going on with the SEO? Are my keywords weird? Like, or maybe just one of those weird YouTube things where like the algorithm shifts or whatever. Yeah, and like, I don't know. Again, I kind of stopped researching this like 2 days ago because I was just like, I'll lose my mind. Yeah, I typed in Ben Jordan flock safety, and it like my video wasn't even showing up. It was just all articles and videos about how flock safety is making communities safer, or like news stories and stuff, or news videos. And so I started changing the title like every few hours, just a little bit, or like putting it like instead of saying police cameras, saying like flock safety cameras. And now it seems to be like showing up in results a little bit more, but whatever. But I'm not like, I mean, the video's gotten a lot of views. It's doing fine. I'm not complaining. It's one of those things that's weird. Then yesterday, I was doing a podcast interview for an information security podcast that for like that whole demographic. It's just like one of the leading podcasts in that world with John Gaines, and who's like the primary researcher, basically the person who discovered the most vulnerabilities with that system. Yeah, and so yeah, I was doing that podcast, and like right when it ended, he messaged me and told me that he was no longer employed. He had a pretty high up position in the info security world, which is like, I feel guilty, but I don't want to feel guilty because he did the right thing. We followed ethical disclosure. We did everything above. We did everything as right as you possibly could to deliver this type of thing. My initial ideas for the video were much more sensationalized and much more scathing, with many more vulnerabilities that you can't legally show. But thanks to lawyers and a lot thanks to John, he kind of kept it within very formal bounds, and that ended up with his stuff's also like researched and reviewed and replicated. But yeah, him losing employment. I can't say if it was directly related. Who knows? It's not like, also if an employer like lets you go over something like that, they're not going to be like, hey, by the way, that thing you did in your free time is the reason we're firing you, because that's like, they might as well be like, yeah, actually, here's the address to send the lawsuit. So, yeah, so who knows? So I guess it's just been like focusing on trying to get. I really think that hopefully he ends up in a better position as a result of it, because it really, really sucks to have your family punished because, if that is the case, to have your family punished because you spent the last year of your free time finding a security vulnerability that affects the public and responsibly and ethically reporting it to the company and the government and everyone else. So that sucks. I don't like that outcome. But yeah, a lot of media stuff this week in regards to that video. Still had a private investigatory type person. I don't even know. Sometimes some of the people that I'm seeing who are either like outside my house. Today it was on my dog walk. Some woman was just video recording me from her car, which, I assumed was because I'm so attractive, but I highly doubt that was the case. But a lot of times I just wonder, like, is there an Uber for private investigators? Because a lot of them are just not great, like it's not only really obvious that there's a person there, although it would be kind of hard to like blend in here legally. Like you can't go in the woods on my property. Otherwise, you're breaking the law and also probably gonna get shot. So yeah, it is kind of interesting. Like I'm like, is there like is there an Uber or a DoorDash for private investigators? Like just gig workers who like there has to be somebody's had to tried to do that by now. I mean, the guy who made the Men's Warehouse guy, I think he quit his successful company to start a sort of Uber for tailors, and it like lost a bunch of money, and then he like lost his company in the process. So, yeah, I don't, I mean, I've thought about a lot of things. Like I've thought about putting like getting a little ESP32 device. Maybe not this one, but maybe one that's a little bit more discreet, and like just like taping it to the back of my mailbox or somewhere out there, and then just gathering all the Bluetooth info and just sort of doing like, especially last week when it was happening like every single day, and it was actually, kind of problematic. Like it was, because you don't really know what's it is intimidating. And I think the worst part about it, is that like right now when I'm talking about people fucking photographing me or videographing, photographing me or filming my house from the street, when I'm talking about this, or like going on a dog walk and, some cars just sort of like always within my line of sight, and then finally taking video. Oh yeah. And I also approached this person. They like drove off and then yelled out the window, not loud, but they're just like, I'm just looking at the bingo sign, because there's a bingo place happening within walking distance of here. That bingo happens once a week. So, yeah, I mean, it was just like, all right. I mean, I assume she just wanted me to not shoot at her car or something. She was probably a little freaked out that I had just immediately tuned my attention to her and started walking towards. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the whole thing's kind of funny because it's like whoever's doing it or why it's happening, I have no idea. I can't say it's Flock. I can't say it's like an investor in Flock. I can't say it's the cops. I have no idea. You don't really know unless you were to like capture and torture the person doing it, which, I don't have the right to do so, nor do I even want to. It is just funny though, because it's like someone's paying for that, which is kind of like, that's a gigantic waste of money. It would be worth it if I did entertaining things, but like, I mean, if you want to fucking film me walking around with a wheelbarrow full of chicken shit in the few minutes when I can actually leave my lab or the house to do something that isn't this type of work, yeah, I mean, go for it. But the bad part about it, most people would consider that a bad part. The bad part about it is that you legitimately feel like you're crazy, and that you are, and that you're sounding like you're crazy, because like that. Yeah, that's a crazy person thing to say, is like that there's people following me, there's people filming me, they're outside my house. Like that's what crazy people say. And it is very validating when I have a guest or when somebody else who lives here sees it and verifies it and says, hey, there's somebody outside taking pictures. Like then you're like, okay, great, I'm not crazy, this is wonderful. And so that's happened a few times, especially last week, and so that's been good. Yeah, I don't want to do a video on gang stalking. I do not. It's been requested a lot, and I don't want to do a video on gang stalking because I don't want to do it. It's impossible to like So when I was doing the hum video, I mean, I guess I kind of brushed on it in other ones. When I was doing the hum video, a big problem that I ran into, especially in the beginning before I was like filming, but when I was just talking to people, is I always tried to stay as objective as possible. And occasionally I would have a personal, like a personal conversation with them, and I wanted to help them. And a lot of times it seemed like it was very likely that the person just had really bad anxiety. And if anybody with bad anxiety sits in their room and listens for a noise, they'll hear it eventually. Like that's psychoacoustics, and that's also just a general mental health thing. That's how anxiety works. And so I would try and like gift wrap it and be like, yeah, well, you want to cover all the bases. You want to make sure that you're not dealing with anxiety as well. That way we can find out if this is, and I feel like it kind of hurt a lot of people's feelings, even though I still believe that they had anxiety and maybe they weren't hearing anything. And so, yeah, I used a research assistant for some of that, to try and talk to people. And I started like talking to people through other people because I felt like it was making me biased and making me spend too much time worrying about people's mental health. So gang stalking, holy shit. Like I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So I really feel bad talking to people who might be dealing with mental health issues. And I feel like most of the people, who are nonstop talking about being gang stalked, I feel like that, it lines up very, very closely to things like paranoid schizophrenia, which is like, that it's just as real for that person. They're suffering just as bad, but to everybody else, there's a stigma. And yeah, I'm not really equipped to be good on that. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, the gang stalking community attention would be rough just because the hum community's attention is kind of rough. I get a lot of people just sending me recordings of things, and I try to respond to as many as I can. But a lot of them are difficult. Like a lot of them will send, something that you can tell is like a subwoofer in the distance. Like you're just like, yeah, there's a rhythm to this. It sounds like somebody's listening to like satellite radio on the hip hop station a half mile away, and it's like, resonating through the earth. But yeah, I mean, if you're like, yeah, it kind of sounds like that, then they kind of argue with you, and they're like, no, it's the pipeline. You're like, all right, well, I can't really engage with this right now. All right, yeah, I see. There are people here for creepy radio signals, and I should get on with that. I've been talking for 14 minutes. Well, only for like 12. I showed up late. Yeah, the plugin pack too. I hope everybody's enjoying that. I have some videos, not for like my main YouTube channel, but I have some like Instagram stories and maybe some shorts. Maybe I'll put some on this channel too. Kind of exploring that and exploring ways to go through that whole taps and portals world. Just some ideas. I'm really happy with it. It's like I feel like anybody who releases a plugin with a company is going to be like, yeah, it's my favorite plugin. But no, like this is really, I've been playing with that primarily for a very long time in almost every single set. Like it goes beyond just making music in an audio session. It's actually kind of, it's like looping and just sort of playing around. It keeps an instrument in my hands for a very long time, very late at night. So yeah, I wish that I could run a VST easily through radio systems, but that's very hard. I already tried. I actually tried just yesterday. But we'll talk about all these problems. What kind of signals am I looking at? Well, let's take a look. So right now I am in, let's see, I don't know how big I want this window. I don't think we really need to see the controls on this end. Right now I'm in SDR++, which is a free, very popular SDR platform program type thing. And for anybody who doesn't know how it works, this is I'm using an RTL SDR. I have a couple hooked up right now, but I'm just using this one just because I honestly haven't used it that much. It is just like the least expensive and the most supported, either that or a hack RF. So I'm using that. Over here, the thing you can't see is just sort of like zoom controls. And then we have maximum and minimum, which, we might want to tune here and there. And these are all radio signals. And right now, so the antenna I'm using right now, we'll be switching them. I think I have 3 total that I can access from my current setup. The antennas I'm using right now, this is a long wire I'm using, so it's like maybe maybe 150 feet. I do have these measurements, and I obviously tuned it, but it's just a wire coming from the roof of this building going all the way down the mountain. Well, not all the way, but most of the way down. And yeah, that's what it is, and it picks up a lot of these frequencies down in the lower megahertz and even in the kilohertz range, which is always a good place to start. So what I want to do today, you end up hearing a lot of Morse code down here in short wave, medium wave, the 40 meter ham band. You find a lot of Morse code down there, and I'm going to try and find it here. Oh, and another reason I'm using another reason I'm using RTL SDR is because I have way better SDRs that have wider ranges, much higher sampling rates and stuff like that. But for things like you saw in the flock video, trying to do tempest attacks and stuff. However, a problem with that is, for some reason, in the software that I plan on using to look at Morse code and look at different types of signals, I can't really demodulate it below 80 hertz with that hardware, and it's just a driver issue. And a lot of this stuff you have to build your own drivers, not from scratch. I mean, you have to download the source and set everything right. So there's a lot to go on. So let's hear it maybe. Hopefully it's not too loud. And we might not really hear anything because, again, I'm not too... So RTL, automatic gain control. Usually you don't want to touch automatic gain control. I feel like every time I've tried using it, it's been kind of bad. But we can give it a shot. We will find out what kind of Morse code. Okay, so over here we have AM, so amplitude modulation, upper sideband, lower sideband, near field FM, wide field FM, that's your broadcast FM, dual sideband. CW is that kind of that's really good for decoding. It's generally what you want to use when you're decoding something. And then raw is just the raw information coming in, which isn't that useful to us in this setting. Just try and see how good I can tune in. I also wonder what direct sampling does. I've not tried it. Looks like it sucks. Yeah, looks like it does nothing. So these are just ham people, made out of ham. Okay, so this... Yeah, I wonder if it is the RTL SDR that's so noisy. I'll probably have to get up a few times to adjust this stuff. But let's put on upper sideband so it's not as noisy. Maybe lower sideband. Yeah, okay. So this is RT, I believe this is RT8. RT8 is a way to send data or communicate message. And it's funny because I've made VCV rack patches trying to sound like this. And RT8 usually happens. It's usually restricted to like 50K or something, and kilohertz bandwidth, meaning like your width between left and right here. And then there should be 8. There should be 8 different signals, and they kind of sound like a sample and hold. But I will take this. I will take this down as an area I want to look at from my other SDR. So that's basically 7.75 megahertz. Like right now we're just sort of looking and exploring because it's much easier in here than in the software that I'm about to open up. Yeah, it is one of the creepier sounds, and it's funny because I've recreated this in VCV Rack because what I want to do is I want to hear this, but I want everything to be quantized into a scale just to hear what the melody would sound like. Yeah, I wonder, I guess everything kind of moves like one note up or down, like one semitone up or down. It doesn't really move that much. See if we could see any more. Ooh, I like that. I like the deeper ones. Looks like we have a data line here. We might have one here too. Maybe not. Not no more we don't. This is audio. There we go, we got Morse. Some type of Morse. PSK maybe. So 2 lines. So I'm writing this down. DT8 for that one. This one we're at 7.455 for some type of Morse. Yeah, so this is a long wire antenna. We also have ham antennas and stuff too, so we could get much higher. Yeah, these blasts are always crazy sounding. They're like spectrum sounding. This one probably will demodulate with AM. Oh, this hobby is actually not that bad. This is a pretty, I mean, really, if you wanted to do like shortwave, like right now the hardware I'm using is a long wire that costs probably $20, a ground, which probably costs $10, just connected right to my ground rod, and then an RTL SDR for right now. This is literally the cheapest one you could buy. Again, in the reason, with it being so cheap, it has incredible compatibility. Like everybody makes a driver, or every program supports it pretty much, except for ones that are outside of its range. But how did I fall into this rabbit hole? Very interesting answer to that question. I started doing research for Brave One for adversarial noise attacks on drones, on RF signals for drones. Nothing that can even be run here. Like if you run any of these signals, I'd be breaking the law here, like because it's technically jamming. So the FAA, the FCC and FAA are very against it. But I kind of had to like speed run radio, like I had to learn all this stuff right away. And so yeah, I was really happy to find out how amazing this community, the radio community is, and how cheap it is to get involved in stuff. It's actually really cool. This is probably also Morse or PSK. Yep. Oh, wait. This is the one I already got, right? No, there's another one. Another line. Okay. Good to know. I also feel like if I were on the AirSpy, I have an AirSpy which is better for these types of frequencies. Write it down. Morse, PSK. So, I mean, it's fun to explore and listen to stuff, but today I'd like to concentrate on these types of sounds so we could decode them. And we'll have to use another program that's a lot more ridiculous and complicated. Now, if I use this signal here, you could barely hear it, but it'll sound like, almost like wind. It'll be like this crazy spectrum sound. And it's just that I think the RTL SDR is just a little bit too noisy for it. But it's one of my favorite sounds in radio. Oh, we're getting a little bit now. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll be able to pick up on this in a different... I'll write it down anyway. I forgot what the name of this data is. There's a name for it. It's just something weird that I don't... 7.557. I'll just put spec. Very bright. All right, so... Sounds like we're picking something up from Ontario. Let me increase my bandwidth here. Oh, this might be another one of these data layers. Yeah. And then this is...
at 1480@gmail.com.
It could be interesting. Could be just like hello. It'll probably be encrypted, but just showing people how to do it's always fun. That way y'all can crack a code of some sort. Go to federal prison for the rest of your life. P25 is also, I have a couple decoders for that, and I don't want to do that on stream because 2 different people have reached out to me about being in trouble for accessing publicly available radio streams. They're like digitally decoded from police and stuff. And it's something I need to like look more into, but all right, here's a weird... That sounds like a number station, if anything. Yeah, especially with the data chirp that close to it. Sounds like a number station. Like this is like the locator. Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't really use the websites that often. I mean, they sound incredibly cool. But I feel just because I kind of just like listening to the analog signals or digital signals, I suppose. Those are fun too. I don't think we're going to get anything out of here if we run it through a decoder or a demodulator, unfortunately. I hear voices though. Or I'm just hearing things. Oh yeah. Yeah, I would need an analog filter to actually hear that.
Under the proposal, repeat offenders would become criminally liable after 3 similar property offenses committed within 1 year.
Wow, look at this burst. That's crazy. It's like almost 6 megahertz, huh? So 5.98. Damn. Huge spec. Yeah, it's quite pretty. Wow. I'm gonna try and change the bandwidth here a little bit. You could like change the hardware bandwidth and see what you come up with. Can't hear it though. There we go. It's such a huge signal for this type of thing. It's so rad. Yeah, that's such a big one. I think. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I can't wait to like try and figure out what this is, just see if I can gather anything from it. Oh man, if you think this is nuts, in a few weeks, with a little bit of luck, I have to get my math right. Within a little bit of luck, we're going to be getting data from satellites. And I'm not exaggerating. That's actually... So 5.98, huge spec, and the bandwidth is about what? 9.4. Seven 4.285. Now, weather satellites are usually up. They're usually like 100 megahertz and higher. And whatever the hell this is pretty boring. Here we go. Some more Morse stations. I think. Oh, a lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot of messaging going on here. Yeah, so you could pick them up with CW. No idea what that stands for. Overlapping multiple isolated frequencies? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Cooperating with Hezbollah.
Are prevented from being let out. And not
¿Qué se desarrolla hasta el 21 de noviembre en el Hotel Memory de Playa Jibacoa?
All the little rings of the Morse and the disc. It's my favorite genre. You can play the Jeopardy theme song if you stick to radio harmonics. Wait, let me try it. Oops. Yeah, we could definitely, if right over here, we'll hear the radio, the super creepy radio time sync, I believe in Colorado. Yeah, this is really noisy. There's just a lot of interference. I can hear it. I could hear the thump, thump, but I wonder if it is the RTL. I was trying to sync to time stations when doing the infrasound thing because I had to sync up my microphone. It was not fun. 6.5. Spec. Yeah. A whole ton. And then we had these like little trailers over here, which I assume are PSK headers or something. Yeah, I'm not happy about the noise. Actually, I'd like to compare.
So God, I don't want to argue about this anymore, honey. I'm glad you found God. I really am. But as cliche as this sounds, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. For me, and there's just not a thing you and anybody else can do about it.
But Uncle Joe,
Honey, I got customs.
Just some random stories.
Right, because again, that you have to
Try and get through this whole stream without hearing the word Yahweh once. That's the challenge. There's got to be some sort of award for it.
Christ, but I'm actually in mortal sin. And if you do that, it's actually a worse sin. It's called sacrilege. So, but you know, I mentioned that.
And do not necessarily represent those of BIN and its people. These are the kinds of stories your children hear with each episode of Adventures in Odyssey audio.
Down here is probably where I'll pick up, yeah. Like this long wire antenna, it really thrives down here.
1,000
Attachment to either venial or
Like these are things that like you need a wire running a couple hundred feet to pick this stuff up.
comics and other fun activities. Keep giving them stories that
And occasionally, if you're lucky, you'll find stuff bouncing off the ionosphere.
passionate like Connie to hold on to the biblical values they learn, even when you're not there to remind them. Try a membership for 14 days to see if it's right for your family.
Tired of reminding your kids to hang on to biblical stuff? Yeah, okay. So, and then the overall, like, top end of... This should be 30 meter. Oh yeah, we got some more DT8 here, I think. Maybe not. Got some Morse, baby. 10.154 Morse. That is a clear sign of Morse. This might be. Just want to see if I can find another DT8 signal. Oh, sorry, DT8. I don't know what it stands for. DT8, there's DT4 and DT8. They're just like communication protocols that sound like a bunch of sample and hold. There it is. There's some DT8. Yes, Slime Dog, that's what I'm doing. Basically, it's just easier to browse around in something like SDR++ than it is in what I'm about to be using, which is much higher learning curve. Isn't FT8 and DT8 the same thing? I know they say FT8 in the ham community. Like frequency transmission, 8 voices, and DT8 is data transmission, but sort of the same thing. Wow. This is like an old man in front of an old Morse machine. Just like... I mean, this one sounds friendly. I don't know why it sounds friendly. It just does. This one will be fun to try and get to the bottom of. Is FT4 faster? I thought FT8 was the new and improved super one that everybody's angry about. Yeah. Alright. Oh, look at this. That was fancy. See that? That's jumping around. We'll see if we can catch it. Oh, we got a sweep. See it going? Oof. Is this Poxag? I don't know my noise. I don't know all my noises by heart yet. Yeah, noise gate. You could just use squelch. Which is like that. It's nice and quiet until you run into something. And then it fucks up and sounds like that. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, squelch is great if you're like trying to hear people, but not so great if you're trying to find weird sounds that you could decode. There it is. Dystopia noise. There is an AI kind of. There's like a couple places where you could like listen to all the noises and it'll kind of tell you what it is. There's a couple sites for that. I think Radio Reference might be one of them. But yeah, there is a company that does this. Oh, here's a sweeper. Yeah, there is a service that does that, but it's really expensive. Well, not service. I mean, it's software, but it's just like... Here it comes. with somebody in a hospital bed, unable to speak. Things will probably start dying off because I'm using the long wire, but we can switch to oh no, we still got some room here.
18 verses 12 and 13. Jesus used a story about he told his disciples, if a man has
This bitch takes over all the stations.
he leave them 99 that never left. Uncle Joe, don't you, Randall?
And that adelphos can mean brother, it can mean, or what?
Oh, we got CB. Good. Sometimes that's good.
Really?
Yeah. Hey, I think I can slip a few up through the slide if you want to look at them.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, here goes.
Wow, thanks, Randall. Hey, some of these look really terrific. Listen to this one from Sarah Halgrud, age 10. Thank you for having it on in the evening.
That was and it's true now when it comes to
Weird. I think we're just picking up weird.
term for cousin in ancient Hebrew. There wasn't.
Yeah, but up. I've heard stuff in narrowband FM too on CB, but it's not too common.
It gives us a spotlight to be only games.
I don't know about that, Mrs. Koenig, but we do thank you.
All right, now are we cutting off here? That's my long wire. Yeah, and then we'll go into FM radio zone. Oh, no, we're in data zone still. I mean, this is worth investigating, I guess. I'll write this down. It's a good sequence, at least. Worth sampling. Oh, I love the tiny SA. That thing's so good for the price. Yeah, I have one here. What a weird little universe this area is. Around 72. TV channels, and then it'll be FM, which I ain't touching. I ain't getting copyrighted. We might hear my airband friend. Is it this? Let's see. Might be in my frequency manager.
Advisory.
There he is.
Caution for wildlife on and in the vicinity of the airport. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Romeo. Fulton County Tower information, Romeo. 2353 Zulu observation. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky clear below 12,000. Temperature 20, dew point 16. Altimeter 3009. Expect visual approach. Runway 26 in use. NOTAM, taxiway Alpha and taxiway Bravo lights out of service.
And then there's the GMRS fam. Somebody remembers a couple weeks ago, I found a little, like, there's this whole community of people on GMRS all checking in, introducing themselves. You could tell it was like one of the most excitable fathers, like just the dorkiest dad, leading the whole thing, and everybody else seemed really like apathetic. They're like, oh yeah, chiming in. And wonder why we're not picking that up clearer. This usually comes in at Nearfield FM.
Chance of showers, mainly in the morning. Highs in the mid-70s. West winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 30%. Saturday night, cooler. Mostly clear. Lows around 50.
Ooh,
Light northwest
gonna get
winds.
chilly.
And now the extended forecast.
It depends on the type of
Sunday,
encryption.
Sunday night, mostly clear. Highs around 70. Lows in the mid-40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. Mostly cloudy and 63. Tuesday and Tuesday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 70s. Lows in the upper 50s.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
242,
Oh.
permission on 16, couple up, listen out for utility.
I got permission on 16, couple up, listen out for utility, and said 1 thoroughfare.
North Tower.
Oh. This must be my local airport.
One column, good to the patio, let me get your route.
Come on, guys, tell us what you're doing. Give us some secrets. Wow. They must be onto us. Military sat, military air. We are... Okay, I might as well switch antennas and SDRs. I have a feeling things will sound a lot cleaner too. I'll also probably have to restart the program a bunch because it feels like once you... The more obscure or high-tech the device, the more ridiculous things get. I think I have my Pluto plugged in. Maybe? Oh, sorry. My Blade RF is what I want to be using. All right. Yeah, this thing has 2 antennas. There we go. Don't know if it's actually picking. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Much quieter. Obviously, the antenna ranges are different. Yeah, that is a crazy difference in noise. It might be buggy, but check this out. Actually, I don't know which antenna's on which. Let's find out. Okay, so this one has a maximum bandwidth of 61 megahertz, which, so just so you understand how crazy that is, I'm just going to go to like 44 megahertz. So this is like, you can see the entire radio landscape. So like, yeah. That is all your FM stations. Like all in one, you can receive them all at the same time.
And today's development appears to complicate the timeline leading up to that indictment.
Peter Haralambos report.
All the energy you can get for game day.
Yeah, let's hear our air friend now.
Reels out of service. Runway 1432 closed south of taxiway Foxtrot for
About the same.
airfield advisory. Use caution for wildlife on and in the vicinity of the airport. Read back all hold short instructions.
Yeah, this one goes up to like 6 gigahertz too. I definitely can listen to my own Wi-Fi, but it's not going to sound good because it's Wi-Fi. Yeah, you could listen to Bluetooth, anything that has RF. Oh yeah, okay, we got some data over here. I'm actually going to drop, but we don't need this kind of bandwidth. Like we're not scanning for satellites or anything. I think 16 should be totally good. Oh, yeah, I can tune into multiple things at the same time. Just not in this software, but yeah, we can, yeah, maybe we'll go into that software in a minute. I'll show you. It's bonkers. This is family radio. Anybody can transmit on this channel. Anybody whose little heart desires. Yeah, nobody uses this. I might actually be able to pick something up a little bit further out, depending on the antenna I'm using. Let's go into RX1. Nope. There's usually some action going on around 900, but probably not with these antennas. Let's go back to RX2. I could also amp it with bias T here. That's a wrapper. Bias T. Yeah, so if I want to listen to like Bluetooth. Feast your ears. Obviously, I don't have it. The antenna I'm using is not good for Bluetooth, but if I were to plug one in, I don't know if we're going to get anywhere with up in the 5s with this antenna. Yeah, probably not. It's so out of range from the actual antenna that I have on the unit. All right. I mean, astronomy is a thing. I keep wanting to say astrology. Radio astrology. God, I hope that's not a thing. That would suck. It'd be very annoying. Even more annoying than most astrology. Let's go down. Yeah, and most SDRs like the Blade RF or something, it's not even made for this type of software. It's made for like stuff like there's something called GNU radio. Okay, so we're gonna load SDR Angel. This is quite the learning curve. This is like a if what we were just in was FL Studio, this would be maybe Reactor. All right. Yeah, whole can of worms here. So let's load up a nice little workspace that fits. Okay, so our RTL SDR.
Burden. So just say to someone, man, I'm going through something hard right now, and I want to share it with you. And then you
actually, it was already set up from my last save, so that's good. All right.
Helps a great deal. And then you find
where did we hear Morse?
About it as well. So this is what we're all called to do. Let's say you find out that you have cancer, and that's a very frightening thing to hear from a doctor. And then you say, well, I don't know what to do. And then you find out that there's someone in the church
get treatment
is a cancer survivor. So they're going to tell you their story, how they've been able to cope with that, how the Lord has been strong for them during that time of difficulty. And it's very helpful to you. And then one day you become that survivor, or you become that person, and you can now, as the Bible says, comfort with
Okay, apparently. Let's find these Morse locations. Sounds like a cool thing to say. 7.75. Where else did we see that more? Where was that friendly Morse? 10.154. There we go. Okay. Actually, don't know which one to use for this. Am I not seeing it? I think our TTY should cover this. Yeah, radio teletype. Somebody has like whole setups for this type of thing. You have to download the config file. Morse Angel companion software. All right. I mean, you'd think that just an SSB demodulator should be able to do it. Let's try that too. All right, what else we got? Yeah, I don't want to download a whole separate thing and run it in a virtual environment. I'm good. I thought it would have a plugin. Something deep neural network. That's not what I want. Yeah, let's go with some presets first. Merkukst. Dick. Oop, northwest. Maybe those are GPS coordinates for a bowl of cereal. All right, what else we got? 7.455, 7755. That one's gone. 7.75, 7.54. That one's gone too. Then we have that some sort of spectral nightmare happening at... Maybe we should stop listening to this demodulator and instead listen to AM. All right, yeah, we got something up here. Oh, 7.75 is DT8. Was. But it's gone now. What else we got? I know I had more DT8s than that. FT8. FT8 or DT8. Which I'm not sure. 14.075. Oh yeah. There we go. We got him. I think there's a map too that we could use. I don't think it's a heat map, but... No, don't crash. Please. Okay, good. This program, as you can imagine, does love crashing. There we go. Oh, I did have a Morse decoder this whole time. Oh, dox me all you want. That's the beauty of living on top of a mountain that you have to go up a crazy leaf-filled, windy, steep road, is that myself, my cameras, and my dogs will all see or hear you coming. There's always a rifle very nearby, so sure. You could also view these in 3D, which is fun. Ice or Mesh-tastic in North Carolina is off the charts. I think it just took off with the hurricane. Like, just got very popular very quickly as a result of that, but yeah, I don't remember how to open the map view here, but we are at least showing people's call signs. Info, hint 1. What's the hint? What's the hint? DM33. I wonder if you could actually type in the call in the map here. That'd be cool. Do I already have the map open? Oh, it's because I'm using the wrong dialogue. Yeah, I don't know if you can just find... Maybe not. Oh. Can you? So, who's got in Portugal? CT7AUT. No, you can't just search people's calls. Although, you can view flight stuff. Oh, maybe. WY0V. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, we could see all these folks hanging out. Yeah, somebody, I think it was on Threads. I posted a thing about my grandpa killing Nazis, which, you know, is very controversial these days. You can't just talk about killing Nazis during World War II. What kind of a fucking psycho does that? Yeah, I ended up, somebody responded to the post being like, you better, you need to be careful, Benny boy, and posted a street view of my address, which is just woods, which is just like, I mean, it was kind of funny because it was just like, it was just a picture of some trees. It was like, wow. Yeah, we're all very scared. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy things here that I do want to go back to the Morse, though. Also, I do think we have some more FT8s. But I'm glad that we picked all these up. Whole lot of people communicating right now. Well, my step-grandpa was in Northern Africa in World War II and in Algiers. And he I don't remember what the battle was, but basically he was one of the first people to come in before a gigantic battle that Americans won. And he scouted out and marked locations of like where Nazi guards, not like prison camp guards obviously, but like where stations were held to, defensive stations. And then did a lot of sniping, and then after this big battle happened. I wish I knew the actual details. I know the story, but I don't remember the name of the city in the battle. After this battle happened, he then, being his normal self, was like, all these Nazis have wedding rings and they're worth a lot of money. We could definitely like melt the gold, so we should probably get them. And then he found out that their bodies had swollen because they had just laid there dead for a while. So he cut their fingers off to get the rings, to get their wedding rings. And then in his boredom, he would then sort of journal where he got them and carve it in with a knife into the side in this tiny text that he carved in the side of the ring, saying where he was and the date. Anyway, I have one of those, and it's pretty rad. And so I posted about that, and Nazis got very angry. Yeah, I have the ADSB. I have an ADSB. Yeah, we should definitely check that out before the stream's over. I have an ADSB. I have it on, what do you call it, the Hack RF Portapack, and then I also have it on it's a Russian radio. It's a Russian handheld SDR. Malachite? I think malachite. It's some sort of like half Russian word, but yeah, that thing is so much fun. Yeah, I guess Nazis are always angry now that they mention it. They don't seem like happy people. It's kind of funny to think about, like, Nazis, they're always angry. What is it with these Nazis so angry all the time? Now we got some new friends all the way down on the 7075. The Portapack UI is great for the day that the Portapack UI works before you need to open it up and deal with something. I've had two of them and both, yeah. Oh wow, Microsoft Flight Sim. I haven't had that on my computer in a long time. I think I have it on my Xbox. Although I feel bad telling this story, but it's like, for some reason it cracks me up so much. My dad came over, my parents came over, and my dad was using, sometimes if we're like doing random things, he's just like, I'm gonna go play Xbox, and I'm like, see you later. So he came over and he tried Microsoft Flight Simulator, and they have like the whole tutorial, like, you gotta do this and gotta do this, you gotta memorize it. He was like, whatever, I'm just gonna fucking fly a plane, I don't need to do all this. So I think my mother and I think we went somewhere and like went shopping and then got dinner and brought dinner back, and it was hours later and he was still in his little Cessna trying to take off. It was like he was so determined to not read the instructions. Just like, damn, it's a rough day. All right, so who's... Oh yes, I've seen that sketch. W8BE. Still creepy sounding, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, we got some friends nearby here. Not too nearby. Got this fella near Waynesboro. God, yeah, some of these, it's crazy how far away some of these come from. See if we can get Tech Minds. If anybody watches this channel. I watch way too much of his channel. He's a great YouTuber. Although it is funny because, like, I don't communicate with anybody. I haven't even gotten my ham license because I'm just like, I can pass the practice tests, but I'm just like, I can't. I don't want to communicate with people. I don't know. Like, I do, you know, I have enough of that in my daily life. Like, I just use Signal for that. I don't need to be talking to people on the radio, but yeah, it is hilarious to watch Tech Minds, and like he gets a radio work and he's like, "Hello, this is blah 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 blah. How are you?" And then like, and I'm just, I don't know. I can't imagine doing that unless it was like, unless we had like a bad hurricane or something. Then I'd be like, okay, better use this to make sure everybody's safe. Spy and Kiwi, I believe that they're repeaters. Yeah. So the test is hard. There's ham technician, ham engineer, ham president. I don't know. But yeah, if you basically have to pass a test. They're pretty hard. I mean, they're like, you have to, the information, you have to like know how to install an antenna, how to repair an antenna, how to ground an antenna, how many amp, you know, where to place an amplifier in your setup, where to place a filter, things like that, things that won't get you killed. And you cannot communicate on ham channels unless you have you cannot transmit on ham channels unless you have unless you have that set up and sorted out with the FAA. Otherwise, it is the death penalty. Oh, there. Oh, there's somebody on a ship. Neat. Must be nice. Must be nice. Yeah, technician general is basically the operator license. But anyway, yeah, let's look at some of those airplanes. It feels illegal. Maybe that's why I like radio stuff so much. It always feels illegal. Oh wait, no, hold on. We got to check those Morses before I switch SDRs. We got to check those Morses out. All right. Yeah. Well, we made a lot of data friends. Look at all these people. Crazy. Not one of them's paying a bill to message each other. Ain't that nice? I definitely, you know what, honestly, maybe my next video, I'm kind of like figuring out which project to to take on now. My next video may actually be cover Meshtastic, because every time I tell a friend about Meshtastic, they're like, "Mesh what? I like the way it sounds," and I tell them what it does, and they're like, "What? How? How do I get into this?" Like it's just like, no, you could literally be messaging people all around your area and even further without paying any sort of bill, without connecting to the internet. It's incredible. All right, I don't think this is actually Morse. We did have that friendly Morse, but we will try and find that signal again. Yeah, this is a no on that Morse. Let's see, where was that friendly Morse? 14.05. Yeah, this sounds very Morsey to me. Yeah, pretty good signal too. I'm gonna try pager too. I don't think this is a pager, but might as well. See if we get anything from any of these decoders. Yeah, it's gonna be a Yahweh message. Oh, we got a W. Oh, look, we got it. Phone week, Lee. Test. A1 Club. Quops test. The UK something. Morse decoder. So if you're gonna load that, don't do it on the actual SDR, but do it on the main interface on the add features. The Morse decoder was in there. Are on tap for your member. Please CC November. Ovaltine. Yeah, I don't think it's manual. I think what is happening, I imagine that they don't want to go too fast because it allows, yeah, I feel like this is probably the ideal speed to not get a bunch of errors due to noise. Like, you don't want to be missing too many characters if there's, like, you know, a quick, oh, it's over. Oh, no, it's still going. We just can't hear it. Huh. End of message, I guess. Let's see. All right, let's go to 1090. Oh, wait, hold on. I want to hit some of those spectrals things to see if they're pagers. Lost my pen. Oh, there it is. It's a dry erase marker. All right. Make sure we're not hitting the same thing twice. All right, so these spectral bursts, that's what I'm calling them. I'm sure they have an official name. That one's gone. 7.713. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what kind of data this is. I would love to know. Okay, good to know with those pagers. I will write that down. Just because I will use my other SDR and probably a way better, less noisy antenna for that too. For the old POC sags. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I would love to know, though. Isn't there something that, like... maybe DMod Analyzer can do it? It's just like... Nah, that doesn't do it. Doesn't do what it sounds like it does. And then it's gone, like a thief in the night. Yeah, I have no idea. I need to figure that out, because I hear that I hear that quite frequently. I just don't know what it's called. Yeah, this is satellite stuff. I don't think it's way too clear to be a satellite. Yeah, 7.713. Yeah, we don't have any deviation. Yeah, satellite stuff, because that's sort of what I'm getting into, and it's like, man, unless you are perfectly honed in, you don't hear a thing. Packet demodulator. Why not? Hook me up with some packets. Submarine VLF. That's incredible. All right. I don't think we're going to get to the bottom of that one today, unfortunately. All right, so I'm going to stop this. I'm going to get rid of that. And begin over. Select a new device. Add receiver. I don't remember which one is which for these antennas. All right, here is my Blade RF. Bandwidth, the one that has the insane bandwidth. All right, let's try the old pod sag first. We don't actually have to hear it, but I do want to hear it, but all right. Let's add an AM demodulator just so we could hear what we're doing, and then a pod sag or pager. I mean, I feel like if you are really, it's funny too, because I feel like you, if you're really knowledgeable about radio stuff, like to the average person, if you're just like know a bunch of things, because I've experienced this on my own, where it's like, you are so far from being knowledgeable in comparison to a radio person. Like it's such an obsessive thing for people. It's kind of hilarious. No idea what the baud would be, but this sounds like it. There we go. Oh. I always mix up my bandwidths. Need to turn off this automatic gain stuff. It's really not great. There we go. Let's bring this one over here. Near Band FM. It is. Now let's keep that volume down. All right. You know, if I were smart, I would just zero out everything here and then just move the master SDR frequency rather than demodulating, having different things for each demodulator. All right. Now we're right in the middle. Goody. There we go. I don't think we need a squelch, although I would like to. I don't know which receiver I'm using. Or which one of these has an amp on it that I could enable, but I don't think we need it. Let's try this bit. Sorry, I didn't see you, Thomas. This is a Blade RF. Blade RF Micro 2.0. Honestly, like, if you're looking for weird sounds to, like, capture stuff in the audible range, like, you know, shortwave ham, I think the Air RF HF++, I think it's called, Air RF something plus plus mini. That one's awesome. Like, I mean, it's like, it doesn't cover as many frequencies as this by far, but it's, the quietness and just the ease of use. And also it natively supports SDR Sharp, which is, or SDR Console, which is, a pretty rad piece of software. And it's like native support. Like, one of the biggest issues with this whole world is that you have to, like, deal with, you know, which SDR supports which driver. All right, let's try 920 here. We may have some pod sag up in this range. Maybe not though, huh? John Gaines, the fella in my last video, built his own. He has his own LTE network. He actually has a tutorial on how to do it, and it's pretty cheap. But yeah, I mean, I thought about building. Like, it's funny because I mentioned it to him. I was like, yeah, I really wanted to, like, build my own LTE just to, like, test out, like, make my own Stingray, just to, like, test out, see how it works, you know, what could be done with it. And he was like, oh yeah, I got my own LTE. It's like, oh, okay. For security reasons. But yeah, he sent me his site to see how to do it, and it looks pretty doable and affordable. But as far as towers go, sorry, trying to. I don't know which one I need to shut up. Oh, Near FM. Forgot about you. Yeah, as far as towers go, I've been like, I emailed the county asking what I need to build a tower up here on the mountain. And yeah, I haven't gotten a response yet, as normal when you try to ask anybody a question in government. But I don't think I need a license if it's under 100 feet. Or I think I have up to 200 feet, which is absurd. Like, 200 feet doesn't seem like much, but, like, if I fly my drone up that high and I'm like, okay, the tower would go there. It's like, okay, this is not happening. We're not building one that big. Like, at 50 feet. Like, but basically what I'm wondering is if I put a semi-high-powered mesh-tastic node up on top of it, would I be able to connect the city of Atlanta? And if so, then I will hit up some grants and nonprofits and be like, hey, anybody want to chip in to get a mesh-tastic node? And they'll all be like, nope. And I'll be like, all right, well, I guess we'll see if we could do this with the channel budget. And if so, that would be rad. All right, let's open up some airplane stuff. I might need the other. Can I do it with the blade, or do I need to do it through here? Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, our sample rate needs to be higher. I think I can do that from here. Oh, you know what? I bet it's because my decimation factor. Oh, it must be 2 million. Okay. We could do that. Boom. Oh, look at that. That's easy. My God, I thought it would take a minute to load. All right, here we go. Here's all the airplanes. That's incredible. That's super fun. All right, that's our. You just track all the planes coming in and out. I bet we could get way further. Actually, let me try and push this. Again, I don't know which antenna I'm using. If I'm using the one that has the bias T enabled, but let's find out. See if I could maybe push this and get a few more. All right, yeah, so we're 36,000 climbing. What does red mean? That it's crashing? Oh yeah, we're out of. Oh wow, okay. Well, we're not out of state, but well, we're getting out of our area here. Yeah, okay, so you could like see the ones taken off probably from this is ATL airport down here. The busiest airport in the world. So like is this one taxiing? Yeah. This one's landing. Good times. How insane would it be to be like watching a plane crash like in real time on this? Yeah, what is this one? I need to find out more. Oh, I thought it would have a plane or a picture of the model. I mean, not that I really give a shit. You can see ships too. Yeah, like right when I first started getting deep into this stuff, I was in Florida, staying near a beach, and I was just like watching all the ships all night on my little Malahite. Yeah, those flight radar sites are basically just this. I don't think you can with this software, but apparently you can do the same thing with DJI drones. You can see where drones are flying. It's a world I've been slowly trying to avoid getting encapsulated by, but it's something I'm very interested in is drone tracking, especially like around protests and all that stuff. Like it's kind of, I don't know. I know they have like a satellite tracker of sorts, which I don't plan on using this software for satellite stuff, but maybe it would be useful. Star tracker, yeah, satellite tracker. But I assume you have to be, I don't know if this is standalone or if you, yeah, so I don't really care about ISS. um, I mean, I do, it's cool and stuff, but I care way more about the GOES satellites. Those are the ones I'm interested in. Those have high resolution data in real time. Let's see, do they have that? Oh, this might actually make my life a lot easier, actually, because looking this shit up and like writing it all down, yeah, GOES 19 is the one I want. Bam. Hit me with the GOES. I'm obviously not going to get anywhere near that frequency with a normal antenna. It needs to be like a parabolic. But yeah, there it is. Crazy. Yeah, it tells you the next flyover of ISS. That's rad. Such a low latitude. Yikes. Anyway. I'm surprised we can't get further. I could try my other antenna, actually. Let's see. Can I easily switch devices? I think I can. It might crash, and if it does, then I'll see you next week. Yeah, okay, could switch to this. This often... Oh, no, we made it. Cool. Let's get to that frequency, though. What was that again? 1090. Pink. Oh, yeah. Wow. We're picking up way more with this other... Maybe because this is the one that has a bias T amp on it. Beautiful. So we are picking up planes down in... I don't know where this is. Yeah, it is crazy how you pick up different planes. And then there's also like different... what are the codes? There's like different codes that you could choose as well, where you could like pick up different types. I don't know enough about it to like really play with it. Oh, did we lose signal? Okay. Now we got even more. Wonder what the farthest plane we can get could be. It's interesting how one antenna picks up the ones up north more, and one picks the ones up down south. And is my satellite tracking any better with this? Nope. Sweet. Wish it told you the elevation. Well, anyway, I guess that's a stream, huh? Good times. We got a lot done. Usually it's just listening to shit and being like, whoa, that sounds creepy. This time we got a lot done. We, tracking planes, reading Morse code from the other side of the world. Oh, we got one out of state. Finally. I was like, come on, get a plane out of state. We got an Alabama private jet. Elon coming over to visit. Yeah, no, we got a lot done on this one, I feel. I'm excited for the future to do some Pilates with you. No, to do satellites, to get data off satellites. That'll be fun. Give me a few weeks. We'll be there. I already have the hardware. I just need to point it very, very precisely. But yeah, that'll be great. But anyway, Phone Test Member Party Ohio. Anyway, yeah, I will. I'll see you all next week. Is next week some selections? Not yet, but is Thanksgiving this week? Fuck, is it? Oh man, I don't have time for Thanksgiving. I'm looking. Yes, it is. Oh god damn it. Well, not this week. Next week. Ah, all right. I sound way too distressed about this, don't I? Yeah, I just giving up a day or two to a holiday that I don't necessarily care about. I would rather just get dinner with some friends or something. Some family and friends. All right. Well, I will see you next week. Stay tuned with the flock stuff. I still may get. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen after John got unemployed as a result of it, or may not be as a result of it. Just kind of waiting for what's next now, and trying to be as helpful as I can. And I hope that members of my community and people who've read the post on my community post on YouTube, I'm hoping it leads to better places. That'd be really, really cool if it did lead him to a job working with government, local or federal, to set up a program for vendors to have to apply and pass a security test to be able to work with the government. I feel like that's such a good compromise, right? I mean, it's obviously, if it were up to me, I'd say, well, no fucking surveillance vendors. Surveillance sucks and I hate it. And I hate everybody who's involved in it. But Benn's opinion isn't everybody's opinion, so we have to compromise things. And I think that's a good compromise. I think that's a good start. And like I said if anybody read that post, it's kind of funny because like I don't think this will ever happen, and I would hate if it happened, but I think that like the obvious, the ball lobbed in Flock's direction right now is John being unemployed after that video came out, like losing their employment. Because like Flock does to the best of my knowledge, from the last time I looked, they didn't have a CISO, which is basically the chief, not internet chief, basically your chief IT security officer, and they didn't have one, which I think they got rid of one earlier in this year, which may or may not be due to John's initial vulnerabilities that he submitted. Like, I suppose I would want to get rid of my security management too if those glaring things were being reported. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to see it, and I don't think that I feel like the people, the higher ups at Flock have too much ego to do it. But like, yeah, you probably should offer that job to literally the person who has the most intimate knowledge of your hardware and services, who has found 50 plus security vulnerabilities in them. That would be the obvious person to throw money at and give and have fix all the things. But we'll see. Right? Yeah, the fact that he worked for a security firm, for a pretty prestigious one, and then did this. Yeah, I mean, he should get an award. Like, I'm going to be very disappointed if he's not speaking at DEF CON, if he's not receiving awards in that industry. Like, it's probably, as far as I'm concerned, I don't work in that industry, but I'm familiar with it, and as far as I'm concerned, he's probably achieved more than anybody else in the last year in terms of finding ways to remediate serious security vulnerabilities. I mean, he's published more CVEs in the last 2 months than most professionals in that industry do in their entire careers. Like, it's astounding. And the fact that he's being punished for it, if he is, I just don't want to say anything legally problematic. I'm still in like trained by lawyers now. Yeah, if he's being punished for that, it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? It's evil for no reason. It hurts everybody. It's shooting yourself. You're taking the bullet when you're shooting the gun in the other way. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, but we'll see. I hope it turns out okay. And yeah, I have plenty of meetings with people and media stuff lined up in the next few days. So hopefully that'll be good. Yeah, anyway, and for ideas for next video, I'll probably post that in the Discord or on the Patreon or something like that, just to not sit here longer with my bladder being full and My toe throbbing. I need to rewrap it. It's gross. All right. Take care, everybody, and have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you, I guess I'll see you on Thanksgiving or maybe the day before. We'll figure out a stream time that works with everyone. Okay. Bye.